Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now on this video, I'll be sharing with you the exact morning routine that I use every single day that has a powerful effect on influencing the subconscious mind and really becoming the best version of myself. Now my goal with this is to show you tools that you can apply in your everyday life and really understanding that the first 20 or 30 minutes of your day is such a profound effect on your whole entire day. So if you apply these things, I believe it can transform your life, transform your productivity, and really allow you to influence your subconscious mind in a very powerful way. Now the first thing we're gonna do is I'll show you, I'll actually show you what happens. Let's go. Alright, so right when I wake up in the morning, what I do is the first thing I do is a technique that is by Mel Robbins. She does and has a book that's called the 5-second rule, and it's all about if you have a hard time waking up in the morning, all you gotta do is you go, as you wake up, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just simply get up. What that allows is not the mind to kick in and to say, let's just sleep for another half an hour, or let's just do this. It really proves to yourself the first thing in the morning that you have the ability to just get up and not let the overthinking start to settle in. So I do that. That's right when I'll just get up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then what I'll do is I'll come right over to this section, which is my meditation session, which is something that I do for about the first 10 or 15 minutes of my day. So let me show you what that is. Now, one of the first things I will do every single day is I will meditate for at least 10 to 15, sometimes 20 minutes. And the reason I do this is because what happens is I move from a state of reacting to a state of responding. I'm able to observe my thoughts rather than react to whatever I'm thinking. Now, the idea behind this and the importance of this is that when we wake up in the morning, we're moving from a delta state to a theta state to an alpha state to a beta state. Now, in the theta and the alpha states, there's much more ability to influence the subconscious mind because it's closer to the subconscious mind. And what we can begin to do is prime ourselves for responding rather than reacting, for observing rather than reacting. So what I do is I come here, this is like right close to my bed, and it's just a spot that I come to. What I like to do, and I've explained this in prior videos as well, is I like to have a candle, and the reason I look at a candle flame is because it helps my mind focus on one singular point. I found that when I first started meditating about 5 years ago, that because I had ADHD, my mind would wander everywhere, and the more that my eyes would wander, my mind would wander. So what I do is I still do a similar thing. I stare at a flame, and all I do is observe my thoughts. I breathe in and out deeply, and I observe the thoughts that come into my head. I let the thoughts be there. I'm not trying to control them and resist them. I allow them to be there, and over time what happens is the overthinking starts to go away. It's almost like the thoughts naturally start to slow down as you're not trying to control them. So I do this for about 10 or 15 minutes a day, and what I do is the first 10 or 15 minutes, it's going to be me observing my mind and breathing in deep and becoming more present to my the moment. So a lot of times what I'll do too, I'll bring the awareness out of the head and bring it down into the body, which means I just put my attention on sense perceptions in my hands, my feet, my chest, and I focus on feeling. Now, the last 5 or 10 minutes of doing this, what I do is I focus on my intentions for the day. I focus on feeling like I already have that which I want to accomplish or achieve. So if it's a certain type of lifestyle, if it's doing my passion for a living, if it's helping people, if it's talking to people, I imagine myself as I'm in that self-image. I start to feel into it, and what I sometimes do is I breathe deeply and put my hands over my heart center. Now, what they've shown in science, and you can look this up with the Heart Math Institute, is that the heart electromagnetically is so much stronger than that of the head. So I try to put the awareness more into my heart by putting my hands over my heart and thinking of feeling that which I want to be. So that's what I do probably the first 10 to 20 minutes of my day. Then the next thing I do is right over here. Let me show you. Alright, now the next thing I do is I read what is called my definite purpose. Now the importance of this is doing this right when you wake up in the morning and right before you go to bed at some point. So do it twice a day at least. And this comes from a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's something that a lot of successful people do, and it's a very powerful way to prime your brain on what really matters, on also what really drives you. Now what I thought I would do is share with you Bruce Lee's definite purpose, just to give you an example of how you can construct your own. And it's something that's actually very easy to do. And for Bruce Lee, this is what his said. Now, I'll also show and break this down into how you can create a similar type one. But what he says is his definite chief aim. It says, I, Bruce Lee, will be the first highest paid Oriental superstar in the United States. In return, I will give the most exciting performance and render the best quality in the capacity of an actor. Starting 1970, I will achieve world fame, and from then onward till the end of 1980, I will have in my possession $10 million. I will live the way I please and achieve inner harmony and happiness. Signed, Bruce Lee. Date 1969. Now, the importance of a definite purpose helps the subconscious mind and the auto-suggestion of the brain start to work in that very powerful way towards that direction. It's almost like you start to gain momentum. Now, the importance of this is seeing what the main intentions that you have are and having that be one of the first sentences. So Bruce Lee's big intention in the very beginning was, I, Bruce Lee, will be the first highest paid Oriental superstar in the United States. It's very definite. It's showing where he wants to be the #1 star. It's showing the type of person he will be and being the highest paid. And then in the next sentence is very important. It says, in return, what are you willing to give in order to get there? You see, it's not just about what you want to get out of the world and what you want to become. It's also about what you will give in return. So for example, my intention is to be a world-class speaker one day. And in exchange for that, I'm willing to give all of my energy into helping people transform their lives in a very powerful way by sharing my own stories and the techniques and the practical uses that I use. So there's something I want to do, there's someone I want to become, but at the same time, there's something I'm willing to give in order to get there. So it's about having the intention for who you want to become, and then something in return that you will give. And now the next part of this is putting a timeline on it. So for me, for example, I have a 10-year plan of how I want to achieve that. So by the idea of 2027, that's when I want to attain my goal. So I actually say that in my mission statement. Now in his, he said in 1969, by 1980, I will have $10 million in my possession. So I do something similar for the amount of money that I want to have in my possession. Now, the idea is that at the end of it, he says, I will live the way I please and achieve inner harmony and happiness. So for me, it's something similar. It has to do with feeling contribution, feeling happiness, but also knowing that I have freedom to do what I want when I want, and to also help as many people as possible. So you see, you can use this idea in a way, and this analogy, and what you can do is use this example as a signpost, something that you can create for yourself. Put a date on it though, because otherwise what happens is it's just in the air. There's no pressure on the subconscious mind to figure it out in a certain timeline. It could be so general that it could happen in 30 years, but it's something that you might want to happen in 5 or 10 years. So the idea is that that's something that I say every single day. I do it when I wake up in the morning. I do it before I go to bed at night. And it's something that you want to say with passion. So the next step of this, I'll show you how you can use your voice in a powerful way to say these things to influence the subconscious mind. So let's go do that right now. Now the next part of my morning routine has to do with priming myself with what I call transformative words. Now, transformative words are actually from a book called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. And in this book, he has a chapter that's on what is called transformative vocabulary. Now, transformative vocabulary shows words that have much more emotional impact when you say it. It's almost like the brain will begin to prime itself towards looking and feeling more into these words rather than the generality words of like saying I'm good, I'm fine, I'm great. What these words do is allow emotion and allow the brain to engage more with these more emotionally charged words. So the next thing I want to do is share with you a hack or a tip for when you are doing affirmations. The first one is that you make eye contact, really strong eye contact with yourself, knowing that as you do that, you're really able to connect to yourself in a much deeper way. Now, the next step of this is the actual way that you say the affirmations. Now, I recently did a video, actually that video went live today, on combining the power of body language, which means having very good posture, having your chest out, your chin level, and being able to look into the mirror with that body language and at the same time using your voice as a powerful tool. Now, to use your voice tonality, realize that you can change, first off, changing your body language changes the way you feel about yourself. So if you look at yourself in the mirror, you'll start to realize that your self-image begins to change as you start to be in that confident state, in that confident body language. Now, the next step is using our voice to also change the way we see ourselves. Now, our voice, in the tonality we have, tonality means like the pitch and how you influx your voice. So you'll notice a lot of times that my voice goes down when I speak. Now, that's something that's very natural for me because I've primed myself that way. But in general, when your voice goes down, you feel more certain about what you're saying. If somebody asks you a question and you don't feel confident in the answer, or you're asking a question you're not sure about, you might be like, how does this make me feel? I'm not quite sure. You know, the voice inflection goes up. It's less certain of itself. But when you learn to look at yourself, you can look in your eyes and you say things in a very confident way, you start to feel more certain about yourself. Therefore, you change your self-image and you realize that you feel more certain and influence your subconscious mind in a very powerful way. So that's what I do. What I'll do is I'll use those transformative words. And let me find the page right here. These transformative words will have to do with, let me give you some examples. So instead of saying that you feel alert, you could say energized. Instead of saying that you feel determined, you can say unstoppable. Instead of saying excited, you could say ecstatic or impassioned. Instead of fantastic, you could say fabulous. So basically what happens is on this, you got the ring light in there, it shows good words on one side and great words on the other side. So what I choose to do is say that I'm feeling, and I would say unstoppable. I could say cosmically charged, which is one of them, energized, unbelievably blessed, could say incredible, phenomenal, ecstatic. As I say these things and I look into my eyes while I do it, it starts to change my state from within, and I start to feel really good about myself. And as I'm looking in the mirror, I'm also looking at my self-image. So it's like it's able to change all of those things, all in that just simple exercise. And remember, the key things to this is having the body language to match it, so don't be drooped over when you look at yourself. Have your chest out, your heart out, your chin level. Say it with tonality that's very confident, which means your voice goes down. And this is something you can practice and get better at. And then simply focus on the feeling rather than thinking. Put the awareness inside the body and see how that makes you feel. So that's the next thing I do. And then after this, what I'll do is I will go downstairs and I'll show you. Let's go. Now, the very last thing I do before I get into my day is I make sure that I alkaline my body. Now, I'm someone that drinks alkaline water, and if you don't have access to actual alkaline water, I mean, I do this anyways, is what I do is I warm up some water, so I get hot water, and what I do is I put in lemons. I will normally squeeze about a full lemon, sometimes 1.5 or 2 lemons, into the water, and what I do is I drink that. Now, this is something that was also even suggested in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He talks about the importance of being able to have a good stomach and where your stomach doesn't have as many toxins in it. And this is one of the best ways to reset yourself. So I make sure that I drink this every single morning. It's something that allows me to really alkaline my body, to really feel good, and it clears out anything that's like left over inside of my stomach. Now, the next thing that I'll do is I'll get into my day. A very good tip for this is to do the most high leverage thing that you can do right in the beginning of your day after you do your morning routine. So the idea is that if there's 2 or 3 things you can do that will really be the most important things you could do the hardest things the first thing in the morning. It's when you have the most creative energy. It's when you have the most ability to start the momentum of your day. So for example, this is the very first thing that I've done in the morning is create this video, and what I'll do next is I will go edit this video so that I have all of that out of the way for the rest of my day. Now, I might still film more videos, I might still do more things, but I do the highest leverage thing right in the morning, pick the 2 or 3 things and just make sure you do those first thing. It also makes you feel so good throughout the rest of your day because you've already been productive that beginning of the day. So with that being said, that's my morning routine. Remember, all you have to do is get up in the morning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, decide you're going to meditate for the first 10 or 15 minutes. The first part of the meditation, focus on observing the thoughts and feeling, bringing awareness into your body rather than in your head. From that point, you can focus on your intentions for the day, the kind of person you want to become. Feel as if that is who you are now. Put your hands over your heart if that helps. From there, move to your definite purpose of how you prefer to be and what you're going to give in return with the time limit. Say that with passion and even apply that to the affirmation technique we did. Say it with that kind of tonality. Move into affirmations of who you prefer to be. You can use transformative vocabulary if you prefer and start to do it with that body language and with that voice tonality. From there, you can move into the physical part of alkalining your body with lemon water and hot water that really allows yourself to feel like the toxins have left your body and to feel really good, and then move on to the 3 highest leverage things that you can do, and that will begin to change everything about you. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys like this video, let me know because this is a little bit different type style video than I normally do, and I'll try to incorporate them more in the future. So other than that, peace, much love, namaste. All right, bye.